Something historic just happened. And it did not happen because Nigeria suddenly woke up and decided to protect its people. It happened because the cries of the oppressed became too loud for the world to ignore, because the blood of innocent Christians kept flowing unchecked, and because Nigeria failed again and again to defend its own citizens. This is not just another news story. This is a turning point, a moment that exposes decades of failure, hypocrisy, and silent complicity. Before we go any further, if you want fearless, broken-down analysis of Nigerian and African politics, insecurity, and global power moves explained in plain language, follow Trend Fusion right now. Subscribe, like this video, and share it widely, because what you're about to hear is the kind of truth many are afraid to say out loud. For years, Nigeria has been bleeding. Villages have been wiped out, churches have been burned, farmers have been slaughtered on their land, women have been kidnapped, children have been taken from classrooms in the hundreds. Entire Christian communities in the North and Middle Belt have lived like people on death row, never knowing if tomorrow is the day armed men will storm their homes. Boko Haram, ISWAP, Fulani jihadist militias, and bandit groups have turned large parts of Nigeria into killing fields, while the Nigerian state watched, negotiated, denied, and sometimes even rewarded the killers. Nigerians begged, Nigerians protested, Nigerians cried, Nigerians tagged foreign leaders on social media because their own leaders had abandoned them. For a long time, the Nigerian government pretended this was just communal clashes or farmer-herder disputes. They downplayed the religious dimension even as churches were targeted, pastors were murdered, and Christian villages were erased from maps. They claimed neutrality while judges sentenced innocent Christians to death for defending themselves and quietly freed convicted terrorists back into society. They spoke of peace while northern elites openly visited bandit camps, negotiated ransoms, gifted money, cars, and legitimacy to men who massacre civilians. They claimed to be fighting terrorism while their words and actions protected the terrorists more than the victims. This is the environment that produced the moment the world just witnessed. The strikes did not fall from the sky by accident. They were provoked by years of unchecked brutality, by the Nigerian government's refusal to confront the truth, and by the endless killing of Christians that became so routine it barely made local headlines anymore. It took international outrage, sustained pressure, and direct warnings from powerful global actors before anything changed. When the United States president publicly warned Nigeria that the slaughter of Christians would not be tolerated anymore, many people dismissed it as talk. Nigerians are used to empty statements, but this time the words were backed by action. On Christmas night, while Christians around the world were celebrating the birth of Christ, US military power moved against ISIS-linked terrorists operating in Nigeria. The symbolism could not have been louder. A message was sent, not just to the terrorists hiding in forests, but to the Nigerian political class that has failed its people for decades. This was not charity. It was a response to a vacuum of leadership. When a state cannot or will not protect its citizens, others eventually step in, not out of love, but out of necessity. The strikes came after repeated reports of mass killings, kidnappings, church attacks, and the growing international perception that Nigeria had become a safe haven for jihadist violence. They came after stories of school children abducted in the hundreds, worshippers gunned down inside churches, and entire communities displaced with no hope of return. They came after Nigeria was openly criticized for failing to protect religious minorities and for tolerating a system where terrorists are treated better than law-abiding citizens. Let us be clear about something uncomfortable. Nigeria did not lose control overnight. This decay has been building for years. Boko Haram did not grow because Nigeria lacked soldiers. It grew because of corruption, complicity, and political cowardice. Banditry did not explode because Nigeria lacked weapons. It exploded because criminals were empowered, negotiated with, and normalized. Fulani jihadist militias did not spread across states because Nigeria lacked intelligence. They spread because certain elites benefited from chaos, insecurity, and fear. Insecurity has become an industry. Ransom payments run into billions. Security budgets balloon every year with nothing to show for it. Emergency funds disappear. Arms contracts are inflated. Politicians campaign on fear. Northern elites use insecurity as leverage, as blackmail against any central authority that dares to challenge their dominance. When the military moves decisively, they cry marginalization. When terrorists are threatened, they demand dialogue. When communities defend themselves, they are labeled criminals. This is why the Christmas strikes matter so much. They expose the lie that nothing could be done. They show what decisive action looks like. They demonstrate that when there is political will, terrorists can be found, tracked, and hit, even in terrain they have used as hideouts for years. They also raise an uncomfortable question Nigerians have been asking for a long time. If foreign forces can identify and strike these groups, why couldn't Nigeria, unless some people did not want the war to end? For Christians in northern Nigeria, this moment feels like relief mixed with bitterness. Relief because someone finally listened. Bitterness because it took foreign bombs for their lives to matter.
These are people who have written petitions, held peaceful protests, begged their governors, appealed to the presidency, and spoken to the world. Many of them were ignored, mocked, or accused of exaggeration. Some were arrested. Some were silenced. Some were killed. The Nigerian state repeatedly insisted that terrorists target everyone equally, yet patterns tell a different story. Churches attacked on Sundays, priests abducted and murdered, Christian farmers driven off ancestral lands, entire Christian communities displaced and replaced, courts that punish victims and excuse aggressors, politicians who condemn self-defense but excuse mass murder, influencers who openly defend bandits and Boko Haram on national television and social media without consequences. It is within this reality that global actors began to pay attention. Nigeria was no longer just a domestic problem. It had become a regional and international security concern. Terrorist groups operating freely within Nigeria threatened West Africa as a whole. Kidnapped foreigners, including aid workers and missionaries, drew international attention. Reports of religious persecution triggered alarms abroad, and Nigeria's consistent denial only made matters worse. The strikes also came at a time when Nigeria's credibility on security issues was already damaged. Terrorists were being rehabilitated and reintegrated while victims received no justice. Known extremists were photographed smiling with politicians. Judges handed down shocking rulings that criminalized self-defense. Activists speaking out were hunted down, while those who openly sympathized with terrorists enjoyed protection. This double standard sent a clear message: violence pays, silence survives, and speaking the truth is dangerous. Now add another layer. Israel's prime minister also issued warnings around the same period, condemning the killing of Christians in Nigeria and calling for an end to the violence. Nigerians had been tagging Israeli officials for months, flooding social media with images and videos of massacres, destroyed churches, and grieving families. Israel is known globally for its zero-tolerance approach to terrorism. When Israel speaks, terrorists listen. The fact that Israel acknowledged the situation in Nigeria sent another powerful signal that the issue had crossed a line. Suddenly, Nigeria's internal crisis became global news. Suddenly, the narrative Nigeria tried to suppress was being discussed openly. Suddenly, the excuses no longer worked. And suddenly, action followed words. What does this mean going forward? It means the era of pretending may be ending. It means Nigerian authorities are now under intense international scrutiny. It means that every failure, every cover-up, every suspicious negotiation will be watched closely. It means that terrorists can no longer assume forests as safe havens. It means that the sponsors, defenders, and enablers of insecurity are exposed to consequences beyond Nigeria's borders. But let us not deceive ourselves. Foreign strikes alone will not fix Nigeria. Bombs cannot rebuild trust. Missiles cannot reform corrupt institutions. Airstrikes cannot replace justice. If Nigeria does not confront the internal rot, insecurity will mutate, regroup, and return under a new name. Boko Haram became ISWAP, bandits rebranded as community defenders, terrorists became misunderstood youths. The labels change, the violence continues. The real question is whether Nigeria will finally choose its people over politics, whether it will dismantle the networks that fund and protect terrorists, whether it will stop criminalizing victims and rewarding killers, whether it will treat Christian lives as equal to all others, whether it will end the culture of denial that has cost hundreds of thousands of lives. For many Nigerians, especially Christians who have lived for years under threat, this moment feels like the world finally saying, enough. It feels like validation after years of gaslighting. It feels like justice knocking, even if softly. It feels like hope, cautious but real. But it is also an indictment of leaders who swore to protect but chose comfort, an indictment of institutions that failed their purpose, an indictment of elites who profit from chaos, an indictment of a system where citizens had to beg foreigners for protection. Nigeria should never have reached this point. A sovereign nation should not need foreign jets to protect its people from terrorists it knows by name and location. A functioning justice system should not sentence victims to death while freeing mass murderers. A serious government should not negotiate endlessly with killers while lecturing citizens about peace. The Christmas night strikes will be remembered not just for what they destroyed, but for what they revealed. They revealed that the world was watching. They revealed that excuses have limits. They revealed that Nigerian lives matter even when Nigerian leaders act like they do not. This is Trend Fusion. If you want bold, fearless analysis of Nigerian politics, insecurity, and global power plays, follow, subscribe, like, and share, because the truth does not trend by accident.